Hello, friends, and welcome to the 109th episode of Snap Judgments. As almost always, it is I, Roy Rogers, and joining me today is my friend and yours, the one, the only, Pulse Glazer. Aaron, my friend, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you all, our loyal listeners and loyal viewers. It is wonderful to be in this new year with you.
Thank you very much, my friend. Hello, everyone. We are going to do something special today. You might notice, well, actually, if you're listening on the audio, you won't notice, but there is no special guest. It is a rare Roy and I only week. So
I haven't done one of these in like 100 episodes. So
a year. It was a year. We did a Patreon exclusive one of these like a year ago.
Yeah, those don't count. I'm talking about like actual Snap Judgments.
Yeah, I don't even remember. I don't know if we ever have.
No, we've done it like in the transition period when Chris was leaving.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was about 9 episodes ago, or excuse me, 100 episodes ago. It was like around episode 9 or whatever. But
it's fine. It's fine.
It is. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
So, but before we dig in, I just need to remind our loyal listeners and loyal viewers how to engage with us on social media. All right. So first and foremost, we are still on Elon Musk's death site, known as X, formerly known as Twitter. Our handle there is @SnapJudgeCast. We are also where the skies are bluer and the new space or the other place or whatever cute thing people are calling it on X. Glazer, what is our blue sky handle, since you keep not putting in the
Judge
slides?
Glazer. I don't remember that speaker notes exist.
All right.
Speaker notes are for non-teachers, and teachers don't need speaker notes.
@Snap Judge Glazer? Is that what it says? Okay.
Yeah,
@Snap Judge Glazer. Okay, he thinks so. It's his social media account.
I mean, I can pull it up. The Twitch stream is going to then watch me do that.
What is true, as always, is we are incredibly grateful each and every week to be the official podcasting partner of Marvel Snap Zone. We're so incredibly grateful to be partnered with them for, what, almost 2 years soon? It's been a while, and we're so grateful to be with them. You should check out their website, the best place to find information from or about Marvel Snap from amazing creators and friends of the show like Lauren and Den and many others. So please check out Marvel Snap Zone. Our email, the snail mail of the internet, is snapjudgmentspodcast@gmail.com. But most importantly is probably where you're watching this right now, which is our YouTube channel @SnapJudgmentsPod. Over on the YouTube, 6 of the 7 days a week, you find Glazer offering daily snap takes for the hottest, most medium, and I don't know, most mild. There we go. Medium, mild, spicy takes about Marvel Snap. Everything there is 6 out of 7 days a week. The 7th day is this podcast you're listening to right now. Glazer, if our loyal listeners were to become your loyal viewers on the YouTube, what would they find right now?
So either later today or tomorrow, depending on how much free time I end up having for an extra video, it will be the breakdown with decks of every card coming in the January season, which is, I want to say 5 cards, but it might be 6. I've got to look it up. So we're going to do a full breakdown with decks of those. I'll probably make that on stream, or we'll have, I don't know what verb tense to use. We'll have had made that on stream, but we shall see.
All right. Exciting. One final thing, my favorite thing to talk about in every episode, which is our reverse pyramid scheme of a Patreon. Glazer pours a lot of money into the community, not just through streaming, but through helping tournaments and leagues and all kinds of stuff. And the way he justifies that to his beautiful wife, wow, really screwed saying that up, his beautiful wife and his wonderful child is through your Patreon support. So almost all the time, Glazer pours almost more money than he gets in the Patreon back into the community. So if you want to see Glazer's support for the community continue, please support us on Patreon @SnapJudgments over there. Again, it's snapjudgments@patreon.com. All right, that's over. Whatever grumpy commenter puts what time stamp in the comments this week.
I really appreciate
this is when we are starting. we are going to talk about the last card of 2024, the New Year's Eve card, Rocket and Groot. They're a 3/3. They're Series 5 6K tokens, and they have the text. You can move this once. After your opponent plays a card here, steal 1 power from it. So,
Generically
Glazer.
good, right? Like, it's a generically good card. It goes in a lot of decks. It is the probably the third best of the generic 3s right now. Copycat and Red Guardian being 1 and 2 in whatever order you like. Like, if you're gonna run a third 3 in most decks, you just go, okay, Rocket and Groot, and you feel good about it. It's a lot of power. It's really frustrating to play against. It often gets bigger than it looks. It straight up power creeps Vision, like, right out of the meta. Like, if you were ever running Vision in a deck, you would just cut Vision for this, and it's just, like, strictly better most of the time. It's a really strong card. Very effective. A little boring, but still very powerful.
The only point where I disagree with you is it's not like boring, because I think there's a lot of optionality to the card. The fact you can move it only once, I think, is probably the most interesting thing about the card. Just I haven't played with this card yet. So Glazer, priority matters, right? So
Yeah.
if you move it,
No, priority does not
it
matter
does
if you
matter.
move it.
Priority
Move
does not
happens
matter if you
before
move.
anything else now.
Okay. So if you are like, my opponent has to play in the, for example, Jean Grey lane, you know you're gonna get steal at least 1 power from them. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It is, however, currently bugged in that it doesn't do anything to the opponent. Like, it doesn't gain its own power if the opponent has Luke. That is a bug that I assume they'll fix within the next week or so.
Okay. So it should gain power, but it won't change. Like
it should gain power, but it is not currently.
Is that currently? Okay, cool. Anyway, I think that this continues them pumping. I mean, it's something I guess when we get to the tier list talk about. I think they've pumped a lot of power into 3 costs this year. And I think that this is sort of a good capstone for it. It's a great card to, I think, spend tokens on, or to spend spotlight caches on, because you can just put it in a lot of decks. It's like, I think you calling out Copycat. This feels like a more interactive on the board version of Copycat, right? Copycat kind of like asks very little of you besides putting it in your deck, but this has at least some play to it where you, and that makes it more interesting to me as a generic 3 than some of the other really powerful 3s that you called out there. But another card for Surfer as kind of when I first saw this as well, because I think it makes it even easier for Surfer to contest boards that might be awkward for it. And yeah, one day they'll print so many 3s that it can't just all be good in Surfer, but I don't think we're there yet.
Like, this, like, the best Surfer decks aren't running this. They just can't.
Yeah,
right?
that's
Like,
fair.
The issue isn't even necessarily that, like, this is bad in Surfer. It's that this is bad on 3 or 4 in Surfer. Right? Like, there's just other things you want to be doing on those turns now. And, like, if you're playing Rocket Groot on turn 5, it's still fine, but it's nowhere near as good as if you're playing it on 3. So what it's really good at is being your curve out 3. And what it's best at, I found so far, is being your second option curve out 3. Like, where if you're like, I'd really like to play Hope, but if I don't see Hope, I just need another 3 to play. Okay, Rocket and Groot is, like, generically, I think, better than, like, Elsa in that situation, or better than most of the other extra 3s that you would run.
All right, so just a generic mid-range card then is your final takeaway.
I think so. I don't like the card very much. I don't know why. Like, I'm not sure I've fully been able to, like, articulate even to myself why, but I don't enjoy this card very much. It's very, very powerful in a very obvious and straightforward way. It feels, I don't know, wrong that it's this good. Like, it's too generically good, I think. This feels almost Nocturne-esque.
I get that. I think it's a little less powerful than Nocturne X, because I think its power is at least more subtle than Nocturne at her peak. because that could just it's just some wild shit Nocturne did when it was the best card in the game. In a way that I think the ceiling isn't as high with this card as there was with Nocturne, which could just completely ruin people's game plans in a way that this is sort of just, again, in the middle of, it truly is a mid-rangey card. So
yeah, I get that. The problem might actually just be Galacta, not Rock and Groot.
That's fair. All right, we'll come back to this card anyway in the tier list that we're going to jump into. So let's jump into doing the tier list. Glazer did that pretty smoothly, Aaron. You're like,
figured out how to do it.
So many problems.
But we're gonna. But for our friends who are watching this live, and just so you know, dear friends, we do record this now live on Twitch. For our friends who are watching this live, you're not going to get to see our lovely faces for the next little bit. While our YouTube friends never get to see our lovely faces, so whatever. All right, ready?
Why are they not going to see our faces, Glazer?
Because
I'm not seeing the stream side. I'm still seeing the Riverside side.
Yeah, you'll see the Riverside side, but our friends will see the stream side where I'm just going to be on that tab so I can do the work there.
I see.
Of like moving things. I love that whoever made this has a Bruce Banner tier. I don't think it's going to be actually whatever. We'll get there. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to tier every single card that came out in 2024. We're going to tier them where they ended up. We can talk about where they were when they first came out, and then we'll talk
for
about
Black Swan, for example.
It's important for the first fucking card because Agent Venom is in alphabetical order, not release order, as Tier Maker does. So Agent Venom is the first card. It's a 2/5 that is on reveal, make all your deck have 3 power. It used to be a 2/4 that made all your deck have +4 power, and it was the best card in Marvel Snap when it was that. I don't think it is anymore. I think it's got like a deck and a half now. So what do you think of it?
I agree. I would not put it in S tier. To me, I think it's still in A. I think it's one of the most... It's a powerful thing to do in Marvel Snap, but it's not one of the most broken things to be doing in Marvel Snap now. It's kind of how I think about Agent Venom.
So there's a deck that has a top end of 3 that's one of the better decks in Marvel Snap, and that deck fundamentally exists because of cards like Agent Venom. It's still got a home and bounce. It's still just a generically powerful card. I think it might end up in B if A gets a little overstuffed, because things are sort of being compared against themselves in a tier list. But yeah, I'm fine with it.
All right, Ajax. All right, Glazer. You start with Ajax here. Where would you put Ajax?
So I think Ajax is an A. I think Ajax goes in a ton of... Like, I'm going to be very, very stingy with S's, right? I think S is like a special tier. But Ajax is like almost S tier. It's one of the best 5s in the game. It creates a ton of extra decks. And it's an excellent card. Look, bless KM, because everyone was like, Ajax is going to be terrible. And he was like, what if we just run it with Hazmat? And now we do more than just run it with Hazmat, right? But... whether we run it with Hazmat or we run it with the whole package, it's one of the best. Like, it's the premier ongoing 5-drop in Marvel Snap.
Yeah, I agree. I think it, for me, goes in the sort of like cards everyone underestimated. I think we ranked it as the second worst card in its month.
Mm-hmm. We had a real
in the episode that we did. I would put it behind Agent Venom if we're doing a tier, but
I don't know if we're gonna order each tier, but it is right now better than Agent Venom.
Yes, yeah, because you said we're right now. So the next one, Anti Venom. This is a card I would put in B tier, but I could be wrong. I think that it is powerful, but not among the most powerful things to do. Like, I think Anti-Venom is like a thing that makes other things more powerful, but isn't driving the decks that it's in.
So that may be fair, but if that's the case, then Agent Venom needs to go down because they're about as good as each other. What Anti-Venom has going for it is it's got versatility in a ton of decks. There's a Hela deck that's floating around that people are playing that exists largely because of Anti-Venom bullshit. There's decks that run Frigga that exist because of Anti-Venom bullshit. There's mid-range decks. There's Ajax decks. There's Malekith decks. There's a lot of shit that just runs Anti-Venom as this like extremely powerful card. Turns out when you have Luke, this card is a little bit broken.
Okay.
Like, I think we move both to B instead of keep both at A.
Okay, we can do that. I mean, I think it's always better in these tier lists to move things down over time, and then we can slightly readjust. Next card, Glazer.
Next is Aranya, the activate that pushes something to the side. It exists in move decks, and it's a B probably because it exists in only move decks.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could even see her going down to C tier.
Move's so good.
Yeah, but is she the reason why move is so good?
The redundancy. When it was just Madam Web, they still needed one more piece.
Well, we'll get to her. I think Madam Web will be the A or B or high B tier card.
Madam Web has an argument for S. We'll get there.
We'll get there. But
so the thing with Aranya is, if you don't have her and you have every other piece, your deck just sort of doesn't work consistently enough. Like,
that makes sense.
You just need the redundancy of a third one, and it's that she costs 1 more than anything else that makes her so good. If she was a 2/4, like, I don't think she would be any good. It's that she
2/4 that did what she said.
I don't think she'd be that good. I think it's that she's a 1, so you just sort of stick her and forget her. You often have just this extra energy, and like you can drop her and be like, all right, now I'm set up.
No, I don't disagree that doubling her cost would make her worse. But what I'm saying, like a 2/4 with this ability would still be very powerful.
I just, like, Cloak exists in exactly one version of one move deck. And Aranya is in every move deck and every Phoenix Force deck. And I think the reason for that is the cost.
I think, well, Dagger and it are not the same effect, though.
Like, no, Cloak.
Oh, Cloak, excuse me. Oh, Cloak, yeah. But Cloak's one-sided, or two-sided, rather. I don't know. All right, but that's a whole nother world that we don't care about. I think putting her in B makes sense. All right. Arishem goes in S tier. I think he just, even if he was nerfed down to F tier, I think he just goes into S because he's the card of the year. Like, that's to me gonna.
He's our thumbnail, right?
Like he is the single most influential card of 2024, and what people, when they look back on this year, are gonna think about.
I mean, he was the big swing, right? Like, there are a lot of cards here that are, like, generically good. He's the big swing, the totally new thing.
Yeah. That can only be done in Marvel Snap.
Yeah. He's also still great right now. Like, people that aren't, like, think he's bad just haven't played him. You build the deck slightly differently, and he's fine.
Baron Zemo. I think he goes in C.
Baron Zemo?
Yeah.
See what I did there? Yeah. This is our second season pass card that we're looking at.
It's true. It's also probably one of my top 5 favorite cards of the year.
Yeah, he's a very cool design. Ended up good. He's good. Like, C is not bad, just for the record. C is not bad. And Zemo's been in some meta decks. He's just not great.
Yeah. And the core strategy that he promotes, the mill strategy, is an NPE, as they say. And so they don't want to push it too hard, but I absolutely love the card, and I love the Zemo mill deck. It is my favorite deck to play.
Fair. Next up.
Beta Ray Bill. I would also put him in C tier too.
Yeah, I think so too. Probably above Zemo, though.
Yeah, above Zemo.
No, probably behind Zemo. Zemo's deck has been meta, and Beta Ray Bill's deck has singularly never been meta.
They try to. Like, I mean, it's a cool card. Like, it is a very cool card. I love its story. I love the way it relates to the Thor card. It's one of the best design cards of the year on a thematic level. It's just, the Hammers deck is just not good. It hasn't been good in a long time.
Yeah, and they gave it all that extra power. They gave it extra cards. It still just doesn't
They restored work. Lockjaw.
Yeah, like, they've done a lot for that deck.
They really want that deck to be good.
Yeah, because it's cool, but it's just like, well, would you like to put more shit in your deck? You know how Darkhawk's been amazing for 2 years because you don't want more shit in your deck? What if you do want shit in your deck? It's
I mean,
but I
that's
don't.
A cool
but
mechanic.
You could. Yeah, no, it's a cool idea. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work, no. Oh, my girl Black Swan. I forgot this card was released this year, to be entirely candid. I thought it came out in 2023.
I mean, it was February.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, she's originally like a D or an F. The unrevealed version didn't work. She is the single biggest victory for Activate as a concept.
Yeah. I mean, I loved the card when it was shit. So
Yes.
The all ones deck was again one of my favorite decks to play this year. I think she's in a great spot right now. Yeah,
Look,
A is
there's
fine. I mean,
bounce
I can
decks,
see
there's dump
her.
decks, there's Dracula stuff, there's there's Moon Girl stuff. She's really good.
Yeah, I think if she's going to be an A tier though, I actually kind of think Agent Venom needs to go back up to A tier because I think that they're
I
kind
think
of
she's
like,
just better.
well, I think she's better, but I think their position is kind of similar in the decks that they promote.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like the Agent Venom decks work better without Agent Venom than the Black Swan decks without Black Swan. And
That's
like
fair.
part of that is that they nerfed Beast, right? And they released Toxin. But they did nerf Beast and release Toxin. So like you need Black Swan for bounce to function.
That's fair.
Uh
Oh,
Blinky?
C.
Yeah. Better than Beta Ray.
Better than
Good
Beta
card.
Ray.
Good in
She was
Hella.
better in other times, like when Hella was right. Was it Hella that she was super busted in?
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
completely busted in Hella. She had that moment with the Leech deck earlier
Oh
this year.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And she's just generically good. There's this deck called the Husky Pile that Husky made that's just running like silly bullshit and occasionally wins with blank. It's a good card.
Yeah.
Like it's a tier below the other stuff, but it's still a very good card.
I think she shows the weakness of 5 drops too, though. Like her, I think that because she's a 5, her power level's capped.
Yeah.
All right, let's just put Bruce Banner in his tier.
I don't think he's going to be worse than the other F tier cards, but we can come back to that
We
later.
can come back to that.
Look, he's not good, but he's not like the worst card ever in Marvel Snap like some people are making him out to be.
I think it's because he costs 6K tokens. I mean, we talked about this a lot last week, but
Yeah.
like, I think if he was a free card or a card you earned through just gameplay, I think people would not be as whiny about him. The fact that they're asking you to spend spotlight caches or tokens on him is, I actually think, is really stupid. Like, it's Kiara, is that how you say her name? I might put her in D.
Yeah, she's junk. She's like pushing F. It's just occasionally Zoo is good.
I don't think she's pushing F. Any card that turns off Shang-Chi and Killmonger cannot be an F card.
I mean, okay, I guess.
What? Those are two of the most powerful tech cards in the entire game.
Shang doesn't get played a lot anymore.
People just still don't like being Shang. There's a whole Reddit discussion about someone being upset that somebody was playing Shang-Chi.
Yes, let's take the Reddit seriously.
But
sorry, Redditors, but geez.
I think you do. They represent the very dumbest but loudest players in any community.
You should read the Facebook group.
Oh,
there's people in there like, why doesn't Tribunal work the way he says he does? And there's a whole thread about it. And then someone else is like, why do people buff Apocalypse and then not play him? And I'm just like, oh my god. So just for the record, we're clearly still getting new players in the game.
Yes. Well, there's always Well, anyway, Cannonball again. We're judging him by where he is now.
D? Yes. No.
C.
Junk is good. He's B.
He's B now. Okay.
The junk decks are good. The Scream decks are good. He's got a home in those.
Okay.
He's like bottom of B, but I can't put him below B. He's just too powerful. The junk decks are back. Like they're not the best deck, but they're like a similar tier to the other stuff outside of obviously Arani, who's more of a like combo piece for those lists, for her list. It's in the same general tier as the Agent Venom, the Anti Venom, and the Cannonball stuff, and the that.
Cassandra Nova to me has to be a C at this point.
Yeah, probably
C
the best
for Cassandra.
C.
Yeah,
but she's a very good C.
Yeah, I mean, she rose and fall with sort of like the busted arishem, like how ubiquitous arishem is. I think particularly when she came out, I mean, she was like what, A tier?
When she came out, she was S.
S tier, and
arishem was ever. She came out like arishem came out, and then the next month they were like, "Here's Deadpool's diner. Go get her."
Could you still do the blob thing when she came out?
No. Yes.
Okay, yes. So yeah, she was especially powerful. So
she was silly.
All right, Copycat. I'm interested. Like, you think she's still S, not A?
So card gets more cubes from me than Copycat. Like, they got rid of there was a sound cue that used to exist in Marvel Snap when she was drawn, which was really, really nice because like Now, sometimes you don't know if they're running copycat or not, right? Unless you happen to know they're 12. And you don't know if they have your Iron Man or your what. And then that just beats you. You can't play around it. You can't do shit about it. If I could delete one card from Marvel Snap, it's Copycat. I fucking hate Copycat.
You hate her more than arishem.
Oh, by a lot. It's not even close. It's not. arishem says, like, oh, they've got 22 cards. I know what silly bullshit they... Like, I know they can silly bullshit. I have no warning that they can Copycat me.
That's fair.
Right? Like, they snap, and I'm like, here's what their deck can do. Here's the, like, output. I can't lose to this, that, this. And then I'm like, oh, that Copycat was my Juggernaut. Well, fuck me, I guess.
Right.
Oh,
Originally,
that Copycat was my Iron Man.
She just... When you just knew your opponent did it to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I played a lot of Copycat at her old version, but...
It doesn't make any difference unless you're playing Mill.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it does, because sometimes the deck gets shuffled.
Right,
but
and
like,
well, you don't lose the card, right? The change.
Yeah, the card, your card, she just copies. No.
She just copies. She doesn't blank anymore. That's the change, right? Yeah, right. Okay.
Which it matters. She's worse than she was, but she's still one of the best cards in the game.
I mean, she was just straight up busted before, like.
Right. Well, back then at least she had the sound cue, right? So you would know something happened. Now, like, you don't know they're running Copycat, and then all of a sudden, just like, oh my god. I lost so many cubes to Copycat. It got a Shadow King earlier today on me. I was like, oh, that's cute, thanks. It took my Sage in a game that I was like, well, they don't have anything for this that could get to like 17. I mean, I guess they do.
Well,
like, it's silly. I fucking hate that card.
I mean, the way you're describing it is the same way a lot of people describe arishem.
Yes, again, but arishem, I know they can do this.
Yeah.
And like, it's a big difference in terms of snap equity, right? Like in arishem, if they're snapping, I can go, oh, it's arishem, they drew something busted, right? How do I don't have that information for Copycat, and so she gets more cubes from me.
So you're saying that she should have a visual, or the sound cue should come back?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
Corvus,
I think he's C tier. You think he's D?
He doesn't exist. Like, he's in occasional backup Hella bullshit, but he's not a card anymore.
He died with Hella.
Yeah, he died with Hella. And like, they released enough good discard stuff that you just don't need him anymore.
That's fair. Call is B tier now, or is he still in A?
I think.
You think he's C?
I think he's C.
He's just like, been power crept?
Fine. No, he's fine. It's just, I don't know how good the Surtur deck is. And like, he's Aranya in the Surtur deck, but the Surtur deck is worse than Bounce. Or worse than Move.
He fell from the mighty heights.
Throw him into B. I could see him being B.
I'm not opposed to him staying in C. Again, I'm also all about not being as generous. Because that's always, like, I watched participated in a lot of tier list videos in my time and watched a lot of them. I think being stingy is good. I always have
huge B and C lists.
Yeah. It's just interesting just how much his stock has fallen from being just so ubiquitous.
Yeah.
To nothing. All right, Doom. I haven't played much. Is he S or is he A?
I think he's probably S, based on what we have so far. He could fall down to A later. He's not the strongest thing in the game, but he might be the most consistent.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. It's the first real Kindred Matters card. It's, very, very, very powerful. People love Kindred decks, so...
I don't know what that means.
It's a replacement for Tribal Glazer.
Oh, okay.
So...
Yeah, he's very simple, very powerful. Really cool card. I don't like him. I don't play him, but he's good. Occasionally I play him and I win games, and then I go, oh, I don't enjoy this, and I stop.
You heard it here. Glazer doesn't enjoy winning. All right, Fenris Wolf.
I don't play one card a turn. He's somewhere between A and B. I was very wrong about this card. I thought this card was going to be way worse than it was.
Who on the show said that?
Yeah. So it's not good because of Shang. It's good because of the discard part.
That's fair.
And the Negasonic part, I guess. But like mostly the discard. I think it's probably low A because it creates a bunch of decks and it goes in a bunch of extra decks. It's fallen down to B, I guess.
Like, I mean, it's not you're describing it like how you just described Agent Venom, and you put Agent Venom in B. Yeah. So
Frigga's probably the top of C.
Yeah,
it is very good as a like combo piece in very specific builds. It goes really well with Move, Bounce, and it goes really well with Anti-Venom, and outside of that you probably don't play it. Although it is really good with Hydra Bob people aren't playing it that way. But like having an extra 1/5 is pretty solid.
That makes sense. We're gonna have big difference of opinion over Lady Galactus here. I think she goes in F tier. Like just absolutely
Because you hate the card.
I hate everything about this card. But no, she should be in S tier.
Look, she's one of the 5 best cards in the game.
Yeah.
Just she's insanely good.
Absolutely stupid place to put this much power.
Yeah. Look, you just you're like, oh wait, my brood, I just played a 3/15. Thanks, that was fun. Right? Like it's insane. She's insane. She's a little
such a stupid card. Gonna get nerfed. Gilgamesh.
I think she's just gonna lose the power.
I think he's in
top
B.
Of B?
Middle-ish B. Do you think he's better than Age of Venom?
No, she's probably not better than Anti-Venom either. Better than Anya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite cards of the year.
Really?
I love the Marvel Boy deck.
Yeah, okay. That's fair.
Played a lot of that this year. I think it's a cool... we talked about this a lot. Like, I think giving Zoo additional, ways to go big was a really good choice that they made this year. Like, I think Zoo is one of the best decks that they invested power points in this year.
Yeah,
anyway.
I respect that. It's either A or B. I could see it. I could see it in A for now. It's better than the other cards here. Is it though?
Is it? Again, he's kind of an Agent Venom level card.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Aranya, right? Depending on what you think his relationship with Negative
is. It's just a good power card. Is it better than I'm not sure it's better than all the it's not the best in slot, right? And it's really hard to get up there if you're not the best in slot. For your particular archetype. Black Swan is a complete requirement for her deck. Ajax creates a bunch of decks. Does Gore create decks, or does he just go in shit?
I mean, he raises the consistency level, right? So again, it puts it in that Aranya space.
But so does Agent Venom, so does Aranya, so does Anti-Venom. I think he's a B now, Grandmaster.
You do?
He's really good in a lot
this year? Jeez.
He's C. He's got to be top of C. I want him to be a B. He's really when he's good, he's great. He's really good in junk, and he's really good in discard. He's he was an F, and they really did fix him.
Yeah, I mean, we've always talked about how much we thought he was a super cool card.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited. I think Gwenpool is low C. You think it's...
No, she's got to be a B. She's very good.
She's... Really?
She's in a ton of meta decks, largely because of Galacta. But what she is she's your Galactic consistency piece, because you don't always draw Galacta.
That's fair. Galactica's best friend.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I think she might go down, though. But
I can see it. I can see half of this going down. We'll see.
Hercules. B?
He's an F. Do we have to...
F?
He doesn't go in a single deck in Marvel Snap.
That's fair.
The decks that want him don't run him.
But what does he need to be fixed? Since taking him down to 3, should he be a 3/7?
I mean, no. I think he probably just needs a redesign. I don't think it works. If he's... Maybe you get rid of the limit 1, but I think that would break 2. Move doesn't... So part of the problem is you can't make him good as a move card, because move can't get any stronger.
That's fair. And they're going to keep printing new move cards.
Mm-hmm.
And does move really need more enablers at this point?
No. Move could use another payoff, but also move doesn't need another payoff. It's the best deck.
A tier for Hope Summers.
Top of A. Hope is top A. She's just one of the best cards in the game. I absolutely... one potential Hercules fix is he only works on your side. That would be nice.
That's an interesting
I don't think that would
suggestion.
make him worth playing, but it would help.
Hope's great. Super busted card.
Yeah, genuinely phenomenal. And Reed's phenomenal. There was no question she was going to be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think Emperor Hulkling goes in Bruce Banner tier, but...
No, he's at least a D. He's better than Corvus and Kaera.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's fine. He's a perfectly fine card.
Why would you just...
Why would you spend tokens on him? Why would you buy him unless you get everything? But once you have him, if you play him, you're not sad to play him.
Or you get him in arishem, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess. A for Hydra Bob or B for Hydra Bob? You think he's S?
I think that there's no one... He's so far and away the best generic one drop. Like, he's ridiculously hard to replace. Unless you're running a bunch of 4s, in which case, like, well, Zabu would be S tier too, right? If you were on this, but like he's not released this year. But you just can't replace Hydra Bob.
Okay.
Like, you're spending 3 times as much for his stats. See Copycat right here, another S tier card, 3 times as much for the same stats. It's ridiculous.
That's fair. Should he be nerfed back down to a 1/4?
No, I don't know how to fix him. I think you just sort of leave him and make other good ones.
No, the ultimate. Oh, that's so gross. But
well, then Killmonger.
There's right? The next card makes a lot of good ones.
Yeah, it's probably a B tier.
Oh, that's so painful to me.
It's not better than Fenris.
Yeah, I know it's not, but
I love it. It's one of my favorite. It's probably my favorite card design this year.
Definitely.
But
love Kate. We're talking about Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, by the way.
Yeah.
Next is Luna Snow. D tier? C tier? D? High D?
So people have it C. I'm going to put it at the top of D because I can't get this goddamn thing to work, but other people really like it. That's all I got.
Yeah. Super interesting card.
Yeah.
Madam Web, either S or A. What do you were saying whether...
I think top of A. S is getting big.
Yeah, that's fair.
Probably top of A, yeah. Better than Hope. Like in its deck.
Makari.
I have her in C.
She had one of the biggest like glow ups that we talked a lot
good.
about her. Well, because she's a free card.
Yeah. She's good. She's just like she's good in Moon Girl and Surfer. She's not good anywhere else. But in both of those decks, you genuinely want her.
Yes. Glazer, cards want to get free cardboard on the board.
Well, more than that. Hang on.
Yes, there's synergies with, for
more
example.
Than that. Well, it's like she doesn't just go in everything, right? It's specifically that Surfer says,
cost
getting a free 5 or 6, right? Like at that point, she's almost your own Proxima for Surfer, right? Like it's pretty easy to get her to 6 or 7 power, and you just got it for free. And then you've got in Moon Girl, you just need the hand space, and like you can run Wasp, but you could just run Makari, and that's way more power for also 0.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right.
I have no idea where to put Malekith.
Oh, it's a B card. It's a B card. Sure.
Okay.
Like it's really good. Malekith is really good. Malekith, turns out drawing a card is good, and that's what he does. Right? Like he's probably better than right around here. I'm not sure where he goes as far as this, but Malekith, he's somewhere around Gilgamesh and Aranya. He's very, very consistent in a ton of decks. Like he goes in all your Ajax shit, and he goes in all your discard shit, right? Like he goes in all your anti-venom shit. He goes in various mid-range shit. He's just really good. If you want to draw a 5, he's a very good card.
Yeah, makes sense. Marble Boy C.
I think it's C. It's still powerful.
Yeah, do you think he should be unnerfed?
I mean, give him 1 power back? Yeah, sure.
I think so.
I think his stats were through the roof, and just people aren't playing him.
Yeah, I think it's easy to outscale Zoo still. Like, there's just crazier stuff going on now. And I think it needs the help.
I could 100% see that. Who is?
Meek. Meek also came out this year? Jesus.
January, though.
F, you think?
I think it's F, not because he's bad, but because his decks don't want him.
That's kind of been his problem.
Yeah, he's just like the 5th option for like that deck.
Well, he's been nerfed and unnerfed multiple times, right? Because didn't he...
Well, he was buffed too.
Buffed, forget. Yes.
He was originally buffed. So the problem is there's 2 real discard lists that are tier 1. There's the Malekith version, and you don't want him with Malekith because that's really feel bad. You'll do Scorn, right? Because Scorn's strong enough to deal with it. And then you only have 1 of them. And you don't want him in the Fenris version because like there's just other shit you would rather do.
That's fair.
So if he's not going in the discard list and he's a discard card, then he's not good.
Misery.
She's the top of C, but she should be higher.
She's up there with Grandmaster. The Murder Master is what she really is.
The problem with Misery isn't that Misery is bad. It's that Misery came out and then the next month they were like, by the way, here's Anti-Venom and Malekith too. Right? Yeah, or the next bit, they were like Misery is like, really good. And it's like, okay, but Anti-Venom and Malekith are better. And like, if you're going to build around one of them, you tend to build around the others.
Speaking of cards that were supposed to be built around, but ended up just being the most generically powerful cards of the year.
How is she not S?
Yeah, she's still S.
Mockingbird has to be an S tier card. She's bottom.
Not
I can
A
see
at this
knocking her down
point.
to A. I can knock her down to A. So
Like,
the problem is Thanos is coming back, and like there's still
That's
very
fair.
few things as powerful in Marvel Snap as just like, here's a big card and a Mockingbird. You're just like, shit. I couldn't play around both of those. Yeah, I could see it being top A. Top A. It's fine.
Yeah, like, I mean, she's like, to me, at the same power level now as Madam Web. I think for a huge chunk of the year, she was S tier.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if we're putting Madam Web and Hope in A tier, then I think she's besties with these kind of cards in power level. Am I blasphemous for thinking we put Namora in high B or
low B?
Low B?
Yeah, she's in B. I think she's about as good as Gwenpool.
Powerful combo card.
Yeah.
So.
Oh no, we are missing a card here. We're gonna have to add one more card.
What card is that?
Lasher.
Oh, who cares?
I do. I think Lasher would probably be a high C.
Okay, wow.
Nocturne is a lovely D.
Pork. Biggest fall of the year?
Oh, I mean, look, Luna, Hulk, nothing else below C was ever one of the best cards in the game, so yes.
The best card in the game, probably for that like 2 or 3 week period before she got hard nerfed.
Mm-hmm.
Penny, card I haven't really played with much, so
I think Penny's a B. She's really, really strong and really frustrating. People drop I haven't been playing Penny lately. People drop the fucking spider on something on like turn 4 or 5 after a Galacta, and you're just like, oh,
fuck me.
shit. Like, fuck my life. I don't know where anything is going. That's a lot of power now.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good card. I think Penny is one of the most. I think Penny wins the award for most underrated card of the year. Phastos is probably top of C.
Top of C now? Okay.
He's gotten good. Turns out once Handbuff Surfer got good, he became good in
it. Hey, another opinion that I had that he could be good in Surfer. Pixie, she's gone long enough. Back and forth. Is she a B or a C tier card at this point?
Yeah, one of the two. I don't know. I don't have any strong feelings.
Pixie's I think we put her in C.
Okay.
Yeah.
Proxima, bottom of B.
Yeah. Still pretty powerful.
She's very good. Amazing in that deck.
Red Guardian A?
Nah.
Or is S? S? Okay. S. No card does what he does.
It's because he's so irreplaceable. He's not as... It's because he's so irreplaceable. I think I'm comfortable knocking Doom down to A.
Okay. Perfectly fair to me.
Yeah, we'll see. He could go back, but...
well, actually, we're going to talk about another card that fell from Ubiquity to... I don't think quite as far as Nocturne, but...
he's a C still. Red Hulk?
Yeah.
So is he a C, though? Because he's not actually much worse than Gore. He might be bottom of B. If I told you Red Hulk or Pixie or Phastos or Misery or Grandmaster or Frego or Cult, you'd be like, Red Hulk, duh. He's still stronger than C.
I might say Pixie is stronger than Red Hulk at this point, but...
I don't think so.
She plays with costs, and Red Hulk has been... I don't know, he's finally ended up in a place where he's just another boring 6-drop.
I mean, yes.
Instead of the best 6-drop. The meta tyrant.
Yes. But I don't, I just don't know if Gore is significantly better. That's fair.
I mean, we could just move Gore down.
We could move Gore down. Gore gets down to top of C. Congrats, Gore. Nah, Gore goes down to bottom of B. Gore is, I think, better because Gore has the negative homes and stuff.
I think that the drawing line between B and C being Red Hulk, Pixie, Gore, and any of them, they're sort of B.5 or C.5 is, I think, perfectly reasonable. All right, new card, Glazer. Where do you put him?
It's got to be a B.
Seems reasonable.
About as good as Kitty, I would assume. Kate, I would assume.
Yeah.
I think it's just a really generically good card. Again, it's the third best generic 3 after Copycat and Red Guardian, I think.
It's fair. Sage, I think, is also in B tier, or you think she's an A
I
tier
want it to
card?
be an A, but it's top of B. It's like the best B tier card, though. That card is really good in a lot of decks. Negative and bounce and mid range and the Agent Venom deck, and just like, it's really good. You know what holds Sage back in a weird way?
Mhm.
There's almost no 3 that you want to play on 3 in Series 3, but there is Juggernaut for the 3 you want to play on 6. Like, I'm not
Now
sure
I'm
Sage is
following what you
better.
said. Yeah, it took me a second to process what you said, but
Like,
yes.
Sage isn't better than Juggernaut necessarily, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you're picking what 3 you want to close games with, sometimes you just run Juggernaut. Whereas, like, if you want to play a 3 on 3, it's like Red Guardian, Copycat, Groot, and then it's like, what's in Series 3 that's nearly as good as that Negasonic, I guess?
That's fair. Sasquatch is another card that's had a bit of a downfall.
It's a C card. It's a fine C card, but it's a C card.
Yeah.
This one feels a little bit.
Ugh. Ben Riley, the Scarlet Spider. Is he a D card?
No, he gets played now with this Galacta bullshit. He's still a C tier card, but he's not a good
C.
one. Yeah, somewhere around Makari, a little better than Makari.
Is he better than Makari?
I think so.
Or is Galacta just so busted that...
Yes, but as long as Galacta's busted, he's got a home.
I mean, I don't know. Okay, poor Ben.
He plays for 4-16.
That's fair.
Right? Like, you only have one turn to do that, which is his real downside.
It's always been his downside, right? He's just such an awkward card. Scorn is, A seems to be
A.
to me.
Like,
Revitalized discard.
Yeah, discard didn't exist, and Scorn said, yes, I do, because now you have a second outlet. She did everything you want over discard and more, it just took a little while to get there.
What about Scream? Everybody's favorite, second to last
it's S.
boss
No
in Spider-Man 2.
No question.
Well, you put her in A, by the way, not S.
Oh, but yeah, so. I know, but I had to scroll up and down the screen, so it took a second. But yeah, she's an S tier card. She's, I don't know. She's one of the best cards in the game. She's a deck unto herself, and that deck consistently is tier 1. Glenn told us that she has stats similar to Mr. Negative on play. Like, what more do you want?
No, I mean, you want Mr. Negative to be better in general, I guess.
Yeah, well.
The rest of the deck to be good. Cersei, I think, is she C?
She's got to be a D. When's the last time? Like, she doesn't get played. She's junk.
Yeah.
Like, these 3 D cards are good. Right? Like, these 3 D cards are good. Put her at the bottom of
D. Right?
No, like, Cersei, Nocturne, and Luna are good cards.
Okay.
They're just outclassed good cards. And Hulkling, Corvus, and Kyra, or whatever.
And you're the one who defended this. Silver Sable. She was a bit of a meta tyrant for a little while.
She's in bounce still, so she's a C by definition, right?
That's fair.
Scar has to be a B.
Scar was this year too. Jeez.
First season pass. First.
Oh right, playing Hulk was with Kyra. Yeah.
He might be an A.
Is he? Yeah. Okay.
His decks only exist because of him, and their win rate is still super good.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that. Speed. Can you just go in C?
No, he's good. Speed's good.
Okay.
He doesn't get a ton of play, but he's good. It's not like significantly worse than Cassandra Nova in the decks he goes in. A lot of Wiccan decks use him to really great effect.
Well, thematic. Super giant.
She's a C also. Card is obnoxious when it works, and it doesn't always work.
Yeah, she's a fun card when she works. Suitor, does he go in A?
He should, right?
Yeah.
He's still great. Ugh, I hate having 2 from that stupid, shitty list there. But yeah, he's got to be an A. Like, these are just A cards. I mean, I guess we can lower him to B. Okay. He's fallen, and like, where Scar has fallen, no, they're both A.
If you're gonna put Scar, I feel like...
They're married, right? They're the same fucking card.
They're the same fucking card.
But we knew... But Scar existed before Surtur, right? Like, and Scar continued to, like, be good without Surtur. And I guess Surtur has a couple decks without Scar. Yeah, it's fine. They're A. They're just low A.
I think that Scar was falling towards B tier before Surtur came out. And sort of allowed the deck to keep up.
Ready for the worst season pass card of the year?
Is he going in F?
I think so. Like, what's he good for?
Absolutely nothing.
Like, he's not better than Meek. Right? Like,
yeah, I mean, that's fair.
That's what it comes down to. He's not a better card than Meek. Symbiote Spider-Man is the worst season pass card. I was so excited for him too.
Me too. I was super excited for him too. And Thena, she had a big fall.
She's still an A.
You think she's still an A?
She's probably B.
She's a B. Like, she's
like this little group of Bs.
These like almost A's.
This is the almost A group. Like, I think this
Sage,
is
Fenris Wolf, Agent Venom, Thena, and Hawkeye.
Thena. Yeah, I think they're all like close to A.
Toxin's boy Toxin.
It's a low B, but it's a B. I mean, it's good in his two decks.
So many symbiotes in this year. God.
I mean, there were 2 symbiote seasons fundamentally back to back, right?
I know. It's so... U.S. Agent, B tier 2?
Nah,
A?
It's an important card. Like, it's a meta shifting card. I mean, certain decks exist because U.S. Agent exists, and U.S. Agent, like, single-handedly keeps doing 2099 in check.
Yeah, I mean, is he worse than Sage?
I think he's better than Sage.
But, okay. I mean, better than Sage is more what I meant.
I think he's better. Sage I think he goes in more stuff than Sage.
That's fair. Like,
or he goes in better stuff than Sage at the very least.
Volunteer card I have never played, so...
It's a low B. It's probably the bottom B right now.
Okay.
It's fine. It's like very good. It goes in a lot of lists, but it's just utterly replaceable. Like, if you replace it with Cable, your deck is worse, but not like
significantly worse.
It's so on the margins, it's ridiculous.
Are we getting another F, or is he a D tier now?
War Machine,
yeah.
I think he's C.
He's C? Okay.
There's still the Infinite bullshit that's okay now.
Okay.
Like, and there's occasional Doom lists. Like JD McDonaldino plays this Doom list that's in Yestermorrow's video. That's pretty good. I don't think he's like good, but he's fine. He's like Blink level.
Okay. I think he's a little worse than Blink, but
well, not much though.
Another card that had a little bit of a fall off.
From S.
Yes.
From the best 2-drop in the game.
She's now A?
No.
Or B? B?
Or C.
She's C? Okay.
She's got one deck that sort of wants her.
Okay. And she gets an F tier for one of the ugliest base arts in the entire game. So,
and now we finish with our last S tier card. It's Wiccan.
It's Wiccan. Yeah, I think he was either going to be A number 1 or S middle of the pack, end of the pack. Yeah,
somewhere around here. I don't even know how to rank.
A lot of people were wrong about Wiccan.
Me, I was wrong about Wiccan. I thought he was going to be too clunky.
Well, he proved to be well. Ramp is good in this game. It's worth building your deck around.
All right, this is our tier list. I will send this to you so you can add it to the show notes or add it to the whatchamacallit's.
Okay. Do we want to read them?
Oh, I guess I could do that. Let's go back and I will read it all. All right, ready?
Yes.
The Bruce Banner tier is populated by Bruce Banner. The F tier, and we're going to count up, is Hercules, Symbiote Spider-Man, taking home worst season pass card of the year, and almost passing but not quite getting there, Meek.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you get for betraying Hulk. In the D tier, we have Kyera, who Meek blew up. Spoilers. Corvus Glaive, who has no home. Hulkling, who's decent but has no home. Luna Snow, who probably deserves better and will end up higher when I redo this. Cersei, who has no home. And Nocturne, who is the single biggest faller from the best card, from an S tier card all the way down to D, with the mighty change of -1 power. Then we have the in C tier, we have the exceedingly clunky Beta Ray Bill. We have Supergiant, who may be climbing. We have White Widow, who's the second biggest faller from the best 2-drop in the game all the way down to C tier, as I don't know where you really want to play her. Then we have Marvel Boy.
Another big faller.
War Machine, who's been wavy. Started low, rose up, dropped again. Blink, who's been, again, very wavy, in and out of the meta. All these cards, like in this tier, with the right meta, can rise right back up. Baron Zemo, because they're worried about Mill, and arishem and Thanos remain cards. Then we have Makari, who's shockingly good, followed by Scarlet Spider. Scarlet Spider is a card that exists because of Galacta, but Galacta's existence keeps it in the right spot. Followed by Silver Sable, who is another card that fell from S tier down to C. She's only good in bounce now. She doesn't really go anywhere else. Then we have Grandmaster, who was another card that was an F, but rose to C as he's found more and more homes, and 3 power is way better than 0. Misery, who really largely exists in Phoenix Force right now, and occasional Electro decks. She was all set to be good, but then they power crept her out with extra 4s. Fastos, who has a decent little home in Surfer. Speed, who has a decent little home in some Wiccan decks. Cassandra Nova, who rises and falls depending on how good arishem is. Frigga, who is in 2 decks and is very good in those, but not super required. Cull Obsidian, who is a 4/10. He is generic as shit. Sasquatch, who is in 1 deck. The Cook is very good, but fine. Then we have Pixie. Pixie is a perfectly fine card that is not really meta. Red Hulk is the top of C tier, basically the borderline between C and B, because the card is very powerful, but it is outclassed by at least 2 other 6-drops. Being, by the way, Magneto and Gore. Then we have Valentina at the bottom of B tier. Kicking off B tier is Valentina, largely because Valentina is replaceable. She's very good in the deck she is, but she's utterly replaceable. Then we have Gore, and next up in B, who's again very good, but 6-drops are A, hard to run, and B, he is replaceable. Largely, he's a power growth for the decks he's in, but not a requirement. Then we have Proxima. Proxima's great, and makes discard a tier up. A 0/7 is awesome. Penny Parker, the most underrated card of the year, at least in my opinion. That damn spider is so strong, and she ramps into Wiccan. Cannonball, because junk exists largely on his back, and Scream is incredible. Namora, who rises and falls in the meta all the time, but her decks just keep winning if you check the stats. Then
Great
Gwenpool,
combo card.
Yeah, Gwenpool, backup Galacta. Aranya, who is the consistency piece move needed. Toxin, who is the bounce card that bounce really needed, and we're getting another bounce card coming up next month in February. Then Malekith, who is a consistency piece for numerous decks. Gilgamesh, one of the most important cards in making Zoo a real contender, and also I think Zoo is one of the most left on decks right now. Then we have Anti-Venom. God, this is a lot of freaking cards. Then we have Anti-Venom still in B tier as a another major consistency piece. Anti-Venom and Malekith, in my opinion, are why we don't ever see Misery get play. Then we've got Rocket and Groot. Rocket and Groot is just, look, it's early. This could rise or fall still, but I think it's the 3rd best generic 3 in the game, and it is strong enough to run in multiple decks. If you're running Vision, you replace it with Rocket and Groot, you will be happy. Then we have Kate Bishop, a staple as just a filler in Wiccan decks, in Thena decks, and in junk decks. She's a really good card. This is like, at this point, the very top of B as we near A. So Kate Bishop, we have Thena, as Thena's little deck with the low-cost cards remains meta once more. The Thena in the kitty bounce thing with Galacta is a really, really great deck. Thena has risen again. She never falls for long. Agent Venom, who is was the best card in the game, another card that was the best, although Thena probably was too, and
Thena
has fallen since nerf. Yeah. Then we have Fenris Wolf, who enables several archetypes, several cheap archetypes, while also being extremely powerful. And the top of B is Sage. Sage is absolutely incredible. It goes in a ton of decks and is incredibly strong. If the top of B, if anything like Thena, Kate, Agent Venom, Fenris, or Sage wanted to be argued to A, I could totally see it. Meanwhile, the top of A I could see being argued to B. The 3 that I think are closest to B are Surtur and Scar. They are a deck. That deck still maintains a really great win rate. It's the most boring thing in the world. I don't really like it, but it is a very powerful deck. Then we have Ajax, who is the ongoing 5, He gets played more than Darkhawk. He gets played more than Ronin. Like, he's the card that does what he does, and thus he is ranked high. Although, excuse me, I'm not sure why people don't play Darkhawk anymore. It's probably still really good. Then we have Black Widow, Bounce, and Dracula Dump being top decks. Then US Agent, who is a totally unique control piece that enables multiple decks and stomps out multiple decks, particularly in keeping Doom 2099 in check. Scorn, which made discard a meta deck when it was not before. Hope Summers, who just occasionally falls out of the meta, and is, I believe, not the top ranked season pass, the second to top ranked season pass card that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, you're forgetting who is the top there.
Your favorite. Yeah. Then Madam Web, who's an A, and now we're at A's that could be S's very easily, the next couple. So Madam Web, who just made Move a contender, and Move Bounce is probably the best deck in the game. Although you can tell how good people are with Move Bounce by how much they over-index on Madam Web. Then we've got Mockingbird, who was again the best card in the game, has been nerfed all the way down to A and is seemingly never going to go anywhere. Then at the top of A, we have Doom 2099, who is beatable, but is one of the most consistent cards. Up to S tier, we have 7 cards. Scream is the bottom of S tier. Scream is absolutely incredible, a cheap, extremely strong deck. Playing Scream is just winning games of Marvel Snap. I think she's really buoying Doom 2099's win rate. Red Guardian, a totally unique control card. I really wish they'd series drop him. I think it's important that people own Red Guardian because nothing else does what it does. Copycat, who's my least favorite card in the game, and the ultimate cube thief. Hedger Bob, who's a wholly replaceable 1. He's the best stats for a 1. Wiccan, who creates 18 different archetypes and is extremely, extremely powerful and useful as a card. Then we've got Galacta. And the second spot, because I think Galacta really has a claim for the best card in Marvel Snap right now. Galacta or Wiccan I could see either one of those being considered the best card in the game. And then number 1 is Arishem, because I think he's the most important card. He's a deck unto himself, etc., etc.
He's also the card of the year. Not in a we
Best,
love him way, but just he shaped 2024 completely. A couple quick notes to loyal listeners and loyal viewers. We tried to keep the tier, particularly the S and the A tier, under control, right, and be a little bit on the more judgmentally side. But I think that this is a pretty solid tier list. I think it's defensible.
Yeah. I like the way the bell curve here looks too, where there's 7 cards in S, a little like 10 in A, and then a bunch in B and C, and then a few in D, a few in F, and then Bruce.
Yes, totally all makes sense.
So I like when tier lists decide to do that in particular.
Good job, us.
Yeah, we're the best. All right.
All right. Well, what is also the best is this Jen Bartel Nebula that's over here on the left to our loyal listeners and loyal viewers. That's what I picked for the variant of the week. Every week, I think we've done it. It's the longest continuous segment on the show. It is definitely the best Nebula art. I literally, since I got in the season pass, I have not changed my Nebula.
I use either this one, the one I picked, I don't know who made it. It's the one where she's sort of working on her arm with pieces of it in her mouth and a screwdriver in her arm. I think it's a really cool representation of the character, one. But the other thing I really like about it is I think the colors on this are gorgeous. I really like the way she pops. It was this or the hip, but I didn't want to pick the hip. The hip is the one I actually run in-game when I run the card. And the reason we're talking about Nebula this week, we try and theme it based around a card that is meta-relevant for the first time in a while. I think Nebula is very, very, very good and might be a meta staple with Rocket and Groot. You put them both on the same lane and you're getting 2 power no matter what. Your opponent can play there to stop Nebula, but then they're losing the power and you're gaining the power from Rocket and Groot. It's a really, really powerful combo.
Thematic, too.
Yeah.
Nebula has some really sweet variants. So this was, as obvious as the Jen Bartel's one is really good. So, why change? But I would say that the one Glazer picked is good, and there's a bunch in that you can go and look at and Marvel Snap Zone.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do Glazer.
We don't have guests to shout out. So, hey, if you don't know, I stream on YouTube fairly often, but every time I stream, it is on Twitch at twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. I'm trying to stream about 4 days a week. The guaranteed streams are Tuesday for the new card, Wednesday right after work, so at something like 3:30 p.m., and then Thursday for this podcast, and then recording after this podcast. There are other streams. Again, we're going at least 4 times a week, but those are the guaranteed ones. If you're interested in checking out, twitch.tv/PulseGlazer, please do so.
Another quick reminder that our socials are at Snapcast on Twitter. What's the blue sky again, Glazer?
SnapJudgeGlazer.
We are also extremely proud to be the official podcasting partner of Marvel Snap Zone. Our email is snapjudgmentspodcast@gmail.com. And again, you're probably listening to this on the YouTube channel, but again, the YouTube is at Snap Judgments Pod if you want to turn from a loyal listener to a loyal viewer. And now the best segment of every episode. It is Glazer reading our patrons. Aaron, take it away. Let's see how many breaths Aaron can do this in.
All right. Let us say thank you to Abigail Gleason, Matter Turbo Knight, Eric Owens, David G. Wingfield, Dirty Casual, Downtown, LAB, FaThorNewman, Good Dog Gamer, Inc., I am Frostman, Jane Everett, Yola Potato, Thinking Poker, Prime, Ryan Burke, Ryan Wood, Caretaker Lee, Corey, Kazushi, Archangel 3K, Black Dahlia, Prayerfrost, The Goats Here, Hallowed, Quid Pro Joe, Snap Decisions Joe, Fat Nick, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Ginger Prime, Philip Brackovich, Haplo, Kenny Lawrence of the Danger Zone, Rob Silverman, The Bizza, Black Jeebus 23, X, and Skippy G, Jessica Gamble, Timeout. Happy birthday to Jess. We almost met at Brookline. We tried to set that up and were unfortunately unable to, thanks to your wonderful husband. But happy freaking birthday, Jess.
Happy
Hopefully
birthday,
you have
Jess.
a wonderful and beautiful birthday. You're awesome. And we got to talk more about the restaurant. All right. Tommy Nyquist, King of Bros, Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Kevsioto, Ludacris, Corbin, Chunky, Jim McHugh, Clam, Colonel Forbin, Stout, 8th Age, Synth. Welcome aboard, Synth. Models, Mod Supreme, Green Goblin, Unibot, Fun 56, Stephen Bronkoff, Just Nate Smart, Jason B, Only Fox, welcome aboard, Only Fox. The Fuzzy Love, Spectrum Mix, Hoot, Matt H, DJ Mike, J, Snowflex, Hilarious, Craig Sterry, BG, Sojax, King Canada, Demi Falcon, Jonesy, Two Ties, The Great Learners, The Parking Tuccrr, and of course, Kenny T, where the T stands for. Time to go.
All right. Well, Glazer, it is a wonderful, wonderful way to kick off the new year with you doing this show. I really appreciate doing this. This continuing tradition that Aaron and I have done, which is a holiday season cards in review, which we've done for almost a decade together at this point.
Yeah.
Which is wild. This is actually the 10-year anniversary of us podcasting together is this year.
Yeah. That's if we can get Will to do another freaking white book too, I'd love to.
Yeah, it would be crazy, but that is to be in the spring and in the summer. But to our loyal listeners and loyal viewers, Happy New Year! Hope you had a wonderful holiday season and many happy returns in 2025. And we will return next week. But until then, stay safe, make good choices, and keep on snapping.